everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Photo Business Success Podcast. I'm your host, Morgan, with my co host, Megan, and we are going to be talking about why the freedom in your business is killing your business,
I'm done.
and why you need to treat your business like a full time job. Megan, do you want to start?
Yeah, I actually do, and I wanna start off with reassuring you that we're not about to, like, handcuff you to your desk or anything crazy like that.
No.
Before we started this episode, Morgan told me that she was at Costco this morning and Target this morning, and we are literally recording this half an hour late because I took a nap. So,
Yeah.
we're not advocates of you killing yourself, and that's not what this episode is going to be
No.
about. What we want to help you to understand is that is more of how you're thinking about your business and treating your business and how that is
Mhm.
sabotaging you. So, that's actually just that was, like, my disclaimer that I wanted to make sure we got in so that we didn't,
Absolutely.
like, lose anybody. But yeah, Morgan, this is a conversation that we've had many times and that you've, I think, specifically overheard me having with people many times, and
No.
probably you've had a lot of times with other people. So,
Yeah.
what are some of the signs do you think of, like, you're prioritizing your freedom over your business?
So, I first of all, I want to say that there is no right way or wrong way to run your business. If you don't want to be full-time in your business or just want this to be like a side thing, that is totally fine. But one thing I see happen really frequently is I see female photographers become moms and they become a stay-at-home mom and a business owner. I think that's one thing that, like I said, I'm however you want to run your business is totally fine, but if you're expecting a full-time income while also being full-time childcare, that's not realistic. You can't manage both unless you're putting in crazy hours and, working till the middle of the night, and that's not fair to anybody. So I think that's when I see it the most. And then the second one would be, like, maybe somebody is like, "I'm ready to go full-time in my business," or they get laid off from their full-time job, and they're like, "Okay, this is the opportunity to go full-time." And then they get comfortable with their freedom, and it's, like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they just woke up and haven't
Rude.
hey, you have been up earlier today and have worked. I'm sure of that, knowing you, but they, like, get too comfortable, and they're out with friends, and I'm not saying you can't do that, but what I'm saying is, like, you need to make sure you're putting your work in too.
Mhm.
This is something that I struggle with a lot, not in a way of I give myself too much freedom, but in the way of I don't give myself enough freedom sometimes because I, like especially when I go home to my parents' house and I want to, like, I need to, like, go see my grandma or go see my friends, and I find myself being like, "Okay, but I have to get work done too." And you just have to be able to find that balance, which is really important when you're self-employed because you don't have typical hours. Like, you can work pretty much anytime you want, but you need to make sure you're putting in the work.
Yeah. That's a great point, is, like, you need to make sure you're putting in the work because, quite frankly, you might not need to put in, 40 hours, or maybe you don't even need to put in 20 hours a week
Right.
into your business. Everyone's business requires different things, and so we're definitely not going to tell you what that magic number is. There isn't one. It's the number that your business needs to be healthy and help you hit the goals that you set.
And it can vary from week to week.
Yeah. And, so I'm having, like, a really chill day today. Wednesdays are usually a pretty low-key day for me because Tuesdays are usually a lot for me.
Yeah.
And so, like, yesterday I had, I think, 7.5 hours of calls, plus I had an hour and a half of, like, just focused work, and then, like, of course, work and stuff on top of that. I had a call with my Like, then on top of all that, like, I had, like, personal calls with my boyfriend and my mom, the one with my mom being almost 2 hours, and, like, that was a lot. It was just a
Yeah,
crazy day, and so, like, although
simulation.
I had every intention of starting my workday, if you look at my planner said I was starting work at 8. I did not start work at 8. I started work at 10, and after no, I started at 9. Who am I kidding? And and so anyway, my point is that, like, your work is going to look different than anybody else's. You can be
Mhm.
inspired by what other people's schedule is and how they run, like, one thing that I tried and did a lot of when I was running my photo business was, like, I had themes for days. So it was, like, Mondays and Tuesdays were editing days, Wednesdays was social media, Thursdays was I can't remember, Friday, I can't remember what all the things were, and, like, that worked really well for me. That
Same.
that was great because, like, if I didn't have a lot of editing, then Monday was a really light day or Tuesday was a really light day, or I didn't have to work at all because I didn't have anything to do on those days. And because I knew that I could, because I didn't have like a backlog, I knew, okay, Wednesday is going to be the day that I just get everything ready for, blogging and social media.
Yep.
And, and so it was just like cool. And like that work wasn't going to spill into Thursday. It wasn't going to be left undone because I knew exactly how much work there was to do. So, like, batching your days is a really good way of doing things. Not possible for every person, but that's an
No.
example of a
Yeah.
way to, like, make sure that you're getting, and you, by the way, if you're a super speedy editor, you can put your editing day or days on days that you need to, like, you're, like, on full mom duty, and so you need that to be the day that
Or
it's
have
like
errands to run or
right,
which
and then you can run errands between editing, like, you literally, like, edit for
yep,
2 hours, go run errands, come
yes.
back, eat, edit for 2 more hours or whatever.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do, like, normal people, everyday people with 9 to 5s, where both the husband and wife or, both spouses have full-time 9 to 5 jobs, how do they function and do, like, run to the bank and things like that? I
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. Sorry, that was so off I mean, it wasn't off topic, but I was like, I don't get it. Because Matt and I have never both had a 9 to 5 at the same time. Like, when I worked my corporate job, he worked retail, and then he installed things in hospitals, and so it was different. And then when he went full-time in corporate, I went full-time in my business, and so we've never
Yeah.
worked, and I did seriously don't know how people do it. And
Like,
that's the
I
flexibility
always
of
saw my parents, like, it's like you look if you don't have it yourself, like, you look at your parents like, "Oh, what how do my
yeah,
parents handle that?" And, like, because my dad owned his company, like,
he had flexibility.
yeah, he would just walk out the door and, you know,
Yeah,
be back later. So, like, I have
yeah.
no idea. I don't know what normal
I don't either.
people
My
do,
mom
and
was a stay-at-home mom.
maybe that's why I'm right, and my mom was too. She, like, worked for the company, but, you know,
But yeah,
anyway.
that's the, like, good thing about being self-employed is you can do those things. But
Right,
if you took time away from what you needed to do because you had to run errands, like, that means you have to make it up in another spot. You can't just
right,
disregard it. It's not like taking PTO and you'll just get back to it the next day. Like, personally, like Megan said, I went to Costco and Target this morning after my chiropractor appointment. And so I didn't start work until 11:30 today, other than doing my reach outs because I had 10 minutes to waste in the chiropractor parking lot. And so I didn't get some things I needed to get done for a workshop that's next week. And so that means tonight, after my daughter goes to bed, I'm getting a little bit of that done because
r
I have other things I have to do tomorrow. Um,
right.
you can't just keep pushing things off, and I've seen a lot of photographers fail in this aspect because the
Because
freedom is too much.
there's no existing structure. So what
Right.
it is, like, you have to create the structure for yourself,
Mhm.
whether that's batching your days,
Right.
writing out a schedule. Morgan and I both have planners. I use a paper planner. She uses a digital one
Kind
on
of.
her remote ish.
No, I do use it. I was gonna say a
Oh.
kind of paper planner.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, "This is
No,
news
I
to me."
absolutely use my planner.
And we both well, I plan my day the night before, even if that's just, like, reviewing what I have on my like, on my to-do list, making sure that I'm, like, refreshed, I know what I'm gonna do, I know what I wanna tackle first, I know what's most important for me to do. So,
I
yeah,
do that
like,
at 9.
it's really hard to be successful if you don't have structure, and structure actually is what creates the freedom to go shopping in the middle of the day, take a nap in the middle of the day. Like, I looked at my stuff this morning and I was like, this stuff is all important, but none of it is more important than the fact that I feel tired and just like I'm having a heavier day. Like, I'm just weighed down. And so, like, I'm going to give myself today. And fortunately, I had some stuff that canceled later on in the week, and so that means that, you know what? Like, I'm gonna be able I was
Small
literally
thing.
able to immediately slot things in. So, I'm doing great.
Perfect. So glad.
My point is, like, I know that it fits in later in the week.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I don't even know what my week looks like anymore, which sounds really bad. I do know what my week looks like, but I'm waiting on answers that are outside of my control for some things, as in my husband. And so, like, obviously, like, having flexibility is great because you can move things around, but you just have to make sure that you're giving yourself and your business the time it needs in order to thrive the way you want it to. So, that's really what we wanted to talk about today was
Yeah,
make
such
sure
a
you're
short up.
treating yeah, make sure you're treating your business like a full-time job. It's really important. I hope I didn't rub anybody the wrong way with my mom
Dare you?
comment just because I know that's hard. Yeah, just wanted to throw that out there for you guys because it is a touchy subject and Megan and I aren't afraid to talk on it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Please rate and review and subscribe. It helps other people find us. We are getting some new listeners. We were talking about
Woohoo!
that earlier. And by no means do I mean a lot. We're very much baby podcasters, and that's fine.
Yeah, we don't care. We're having fun, and we
No,
hope
we're
that
having fun.
the people
Uh,
who listen to it are, getting good stuff out of it.
exactly. Our link to the Facebook group and our this is the Photo Business Success Podcast. The Wedding Multiplier Toolkit are in the show notes and also in the descriptions if you're watching on YouTube.
Can I say something real quick?
Go for
I
it.
know, I'm sorry, but
No.
the Wedding Multiplier Toolkit is, like, a great example of other structure that you can bring into your
Mhm.
business. Like, it's a toolkit of, ways that you can create leads, and so that like, sometimes it's not like, structure isn't, a schedule that you give yourself or even, like, batching your days. Sometimes it's just, like, a checklist of all the things that have to be done that week, and
Absolutely.
I feel like the if I was a photographer starting from scratch today, like, if I was just like, "Hey, I'm gonna reopen my studio," the toolkit is, like to me, it's a great tool, a great obviously, it's a tool. It's a it would be my marketing checklist. It would be
Yeah,
my way of just like, "Okay, cool, like, I did all of these things this week, and, like, now I can move on." Like, now I'm at
exactly.
a place where, like, that was the structure that I needed, and it's like, "Cool." Like, maybe it's like, "Oh, okay, like, it's all done by Wednesday. Now I don't have anything else to do." So, yeah, that is a great tool
It's a great
for
place to start.
yeah, if you guys are looking for ways to take your business more seriously, but it's not like it's like a lot of hard work. It's just like, there are going to be things that you have to do every time you have a wedding. There are going to be things that you have to do like before the wedding, after the wedding, whatever. And it's like, I would just look at it every week. So that was a
Yeah,
little like just an example of ways that you can bring structure in without it being overbearing.
yeah, absolutely. Love it. So we will talk to you guys next Wednesday, okay? Bye, guys.